Okay, so now I'll talk about how I created those frames that we mentioned in the last video. Just to recap, in the top half or so of the window, I have a frame to contain these 6 controls in rows and columns, which we had discussed. So these are the user input controls. And then I have a separate frame for these 2 at the bottom because their configuration is a little different, just one on top of the other. And so I called that the bottom frame. So let's take a look at how we create these frames. So for the top frame, I just chose a name. I called it top frame. Again, you choose. And then here, this is it basically. I'm just using ttk.frame, that'll create the frame, and then the frame belongs to the root window, okay? And I did some padding here. The padding refers to like the space around the frame, and typically, and you'll see this in your book too, that just to do like 10 pixels all around, that should just give you a nice little margin around the frame. Otherwise, it might, your frame might be stuck to the side of the window, and, that just wouldn't look as nice. And then I'm applying the style that we talked about in the last video, that light green style, which is called T-frame. I applied that style to the frame as well, so everything will be nice and uniform green. Okay, and then that's, I haven't put the controls in yet, but I can at least pack the frame into the window. Again, like packing a suitcase, packing an item into a suitcase. So I'm just packing the top frame into the root window. And for the fill and the expand, that really just applies to, is the frame going to stretch to fill the whole space that the window affords? Yes, I said yes. By both it means vertically and horizontally. So the frame is going to stretch out to fill the space that it has in the window. And then it will also, the expand is true, meaning if the user sizes the window, my frame is going to expand with it. Okay, so that, you could take it or leave it, but so there's that. So that was the top frame. Now the bottom frame will be similar. So on the bottom frame, I just called it bottom frame. Again, it belongs to the root window. And I didn't use padding on this one. A lot of it was like just me eyeballing it and trial and error. And I felt that padding, wasn't really necessary in the bottom frame. It just looked okay without it. So I could probably just skip that altogether if I wanted to and just not put that in there. But I just put zeros just to leave it as a placeholder. And then again, the style, I'm going to set that to T frame because this frame also needs a style if we want that uniform green. So, yeah, just packing this. Now on the bottom here, the bottom frame, when I packed it, I decided not to do the fill. Again, it just has to do with eyeballing and spacing, and it just looked better without me filling that. And then, I went true on the expand in case, as we said, if the user expands the window or resizes the window, the frame is going to expand with it. So that is the creation of the frames. And I think I'm going to end this video, and then we will talk about actually putting the controls, packing the controls into their respective frames. We'll do that in the next video.